Now we'll be talking about single linked list. By far, when you watch single linked list, it is a tougher concept to understand, and as well as it is very, very important. Okay. But in this video, what I'll do is I'll make sure that it is understood in a simple, naive way. Okay. Even a naive person listening for the first time should be able to understand this video. Okay. So let us go to the theoretical definition. A linked list is a linear data structures where each node contains data and address of the node. That is simple. It is a node where it has one part is called as the data, and there is another part which is a pointer to the next node. Okay, so this is the two parts that you have in a single linked list. And what is the structure? Of course, it is a structure where it is having a data and which is having a next pointer. Struct node in data, and struct node, there is a pointer to the address of the next location. Okay, for example, see, I'll give you an example. This example is very, very important. So if you have to understand linked list, you need to understand this example first. Okay, right. Let us say you have the data to be 10, 20, 30. Okay, and the addresses of 10, then first node, let me name it as a first node, second node, and the third node. Okay, the address of second node is 200 and third node is 300. Now, if I have to connect these three, okay, the next pointer, let us say I want to connect these two. Okay, so what is the address of this second node, which is 200? So the next of the first should be 200. If I have to connect these two nodes, the address here should be the address of the second node. Okay, now if I want to connect these two, what should be the address here? If you want to connect this node to this node, the address of this is 300. So if you, as and when you keep 300, you will get these two connected. Okay, this is very, very important to understand. And the next thing is, there is a pointer called head pointer, which always points to the first node in the list. Okay, here, what is the first node in the list? It is nothing but this. The address of the first node is 100. See, address, I am writing it in red ink, and data I'm writing in blue, so that you can differentiate between the two. Okay, so this is a brief overview of linked list, how they operate. Okay, single linked list. Okay, so what are the operations that we have in a linked list? We have traversal, insertion, deletion, and searching. In this particular video, we'll be talking precisely about insertion in a linked list. Okay, so yeah, you have insertion in a linked list. Let me redraw the linked list that we have drawn in the first slide: 10, 20, 30. Okay, let us say the address of this. I'm again telling you so that you will understand. Now, if I have to link these two, what should be the address here? It should be 200. Okay, so if you want to link these two, the address should be 300. Okay, right, these are linked. Now, these are linked. Of course, there is a head pointer which always points to the first node. Okay, right. So head stores the address 100. Okay, right. Now see, if I have to create a new node, first thing, if I want to insert a node in the beginning, I have to create the node. So I've created the node here. Okay, and new node data is equal to item. Let us say the data here is whatever you enter. Let us say I have entered 5. Okay, what is new node next? That we'll talk. Okay, as of now, let us say the address of this node is 50. Okay, the address of the new node is 50. Okay, now if I have to insert at the beginning, what does it mean? I have to insert this node here at the beginning like this. This is what I wanted. Okay, this is what exactly I wanted. Now tell me, if I want this to happen, okay, what should be the next pointer here? What should be the next pointer here? Just pause the video and understand. What should be the value here? Now, as simple as that. The next, if you have to connect these two, let us say you want to connect these two. Now, what you have done? You have placed the address of 200 here. If you want to connect these two, you have placed the address of 300 here. Now, if you want to connect these two, what should happen? It should be, the address should be here. That's it. Okay. So you have added a list node in the linked list, which is as simple as that. Okay, but there is one more thing that you have to be careful. Head always points to the first node. So two things you have to make. First thing, you should make this change, that is the address here, address of the next node of the new node. And second thing is you have to make the head point to the new node. Okay, that is 50. Okay, so anyway, I'll explain it in detail. I hope you understood till now that how do you connect. Okay, see, new data is equal to item. Okay, new next is equal to head. Now what is the address of head here? Head is 100 actually before I do all this. Okay, before I do all this, let us say we have not done this. Okay. What is new node? This is the new node, and the address of new node is 50. Okay, so new node next, new is nothing but the new node. Okay, this is the new node. Okay, this is the new node. Okay, right, new next is equal to head. What is the address of head here? Address of head is 100, and what we are essentially telling is whatever the value in head, you just give it to new next. What is new node here? This is the new node, and new next is equal to 100. Whatever the head address, it is giving to this. As and when you give this, these two are connected. That's what we have done. We have directly done it, and algorithmically we are doing it now. Okay. Now, what is the next thing that I have done? Head should always point to the first node. Now, what is the first node here? This is the first node now. As and when you add it, this is the second, this is the third, and this is the fourth, isn't it? Now, this should be, head should be pointing to this node, isn't it? Okay. Now, what is the address of this node? 50. So that is what they have written. New is given to head. Okay. New, if you write directly new, then it means that it is address. Address of new is 50. So it should be given to head. Now the head's new address will be 50. So as and when it is 50, it is pointing to this. Okay. So head is no more here. It is pointing to 50. Okay. I hope you understood this. Okay. So yeah, if you don't understand this, you pause the video and read it again. Okay, and understand it again, and we'll move on to the next one. Okay, insertion at the end. Okay, right, see here. Again, I'll just redraw. See, reason I'm redrawing is you will understand how to link it. Okay, again and again I'm telling you, because this is 100, let us say this is 200, this is 300. Now if we have to link these two, what should be the address? 200. Now we have to link these two, the address should be 300. Okay. Okay, where should head point to? Head always point to the first node. The first node here is 10, that is 100, address of 100. So this is 100. Okay, so yeah, right. Now you have to create a new node, and this time you should insert at the end. Okay, so now I've created a new node. Okay, let us say the data is 5 again, and the address is 50. Okay, right. Now I have to insert here. That is what I wanted. I want to insert it here, 5, and of course you have nothing there, so the address will be null. Okay. Okay. Now my goal is to insert here. Okay. If my goal is to insert here, okay, initially this node is null, but now what should happen? This should be filled with the address of this node. What is the address of this node? 50, isn't it? So this should be filled with 50. Simple, you have inserted at the end. But how do you know that this is the end of the node? This is the end node. See, I've understood that, sir, this is the new node which I've created, and this is the address you have kept. So you have directly added the address here. So it is automatically getting connected. But my question is, how do you know this is the end? You don't know whether this is the end or this is the end or this is the end, right? So you have to run the algorithm such that you have to go till the end. Okay. So for that, we'll study. Okay. Now we'll study the algorithm line by line. So you try to understand. Till now, I have explained directly what you have to do. I hope you understood now. Now I'll go line by line. Okay. So now create a new node. We have created a new node, and new node data is equal to item. Like value is 5, and new node next is equal to null. This is the new node, and this is the data, and this is the next node. Okay, so we have made it to null. And if head is equal to null, you make new node to be head. Let us say the list is empty. Okay, there is nothing like this. The list is empty. This is the first node, that is 5, and null. This is the first node. If this is the first node, you just make sure that this is head. Okay, this is head, and head is pointing to this. Simple. If there are no nodes, where do you insert? Okay, this let us say if there are no nodes, this is the only node that we have in the linked list. We'll insert it like this only. So that's what they have told. Okay, if head is equal to null, that is there is no head, then you make the new node to be head and stop. Okay, so this is a different case. Okay, if that is not the case, then what you have to do, you have to take another pointer which is called as temp, and you make the head, make a copy of head inside the temp. Now head is already there. We are not doing anything to head. Now what we are doing is we are making another node which is called temp. Okay, and we are making a copy of this here. Okay, so temp is also pointing to this. Whatever the address is there in 100 in head, we are making a copy of it as temp. Head is still there. We are not doing anything to head. Okay, now, okay, wait, just a moment, just a small correction needed. Yeah, okay. We have not inserted any node as of now. Okay, while what they have written here is while temp next is not equal to null. Okay, you could see here, while temp next is not equal to null. Okay, temp is equal to temp next. Okay, now what is temp here? Temp is 100, so you are here. Okay, what is temp next? That is, next is nothing but this. You're here. Here is the data, here is the next, right? So what is temp next? Temp next is 200. It is not null, right? Temp next here is 200. It is not equal to null. So what should we do? Temp is equal to temp next. Okay, what I'll do is I'll write here temp next also. Okay, this is temp and this is temp next. Okay, right. Temp is here, while temp next is not equal to null. So temp is 100, so I am here. Temp data means this. Remember this. Temp data means 10. Okay, if I write temp data, then it is 10. If I write temp next, then it is nothing but here it is 200. Remember this. Very, very, very important for you to understand the rest of the linked list. Okay, when you're taking a variable and it is giving data, means it is giving the data, and if it is giving next means next pointer. Okay, very, very important for you to understand. Okay, so temp next is now, it is nothing but 200, isn't it? Okay, 200 is not equal to null, right? So what should we do? So this loop, the condition is satisfied. So what is it next? Temp next is equal to temp. What is temp next? We have got it to be 200. What should we do? We should update the temp value to be 200. So now the value of temp is now, it's not 100. We have updated it to 200. As and when it is updated to 200, what should we do? Till now you're here. Okay, but now you are here because temp is now 200. Okay, again the same thing. Again the loop continues. While temp next is not equal to null. What is temp next here? If you want here, now temp is 200. So you're here, temp data is equal to 20. But temp next, what is temp next? Here, temp data is this, and next is this. So this would be 300. So what is temp next? Temp next is 300. Okay, it is not equal to null. So since it is not equal to null, what we have to do? We have to do temp is equal to temp next. What is temp next? You could see here it is 300. You have to update temp to 300. So what I'll do is I'll update temp to be 300. Okay. Once I do that, okay, now temp is 300, isn't it? Now temp is 300. So where will be? I will be not here, but I will be here. Okay. Right. Okay. Now, while temp next is not equal to null, but here, when your temp is 300, temp data is anyway, it is 30. But what is temp next? It is null. Okay. So temp next is equal to null. So that means, that means the condition is not satisfied. So you'll come out of the loop. So you're here and temp is exactly here, 300. Okay. So you're here. Now you see, new is equal to temp next. What is new? New is nothing but the new node. What is the address of new node? Let us say it is 50. Okay. So 50 is given to temp next. So this is the temp next. Instead of null, you'll make it to 50. Okay, simple. So as and when you make it to 50, so this node here, it will be automatically getting connected. So here, 5 and now this node is getting connected and the address of this node is 50. Okay. So this is also called as traversing a single linked list. Okay. So you just traverse. These two lines are used for traversing a linked list. These two nodes, these two lines. These two are used to traverse a linked list. To be precise, a single linked list. Okay. Right. So this is all about insertion at the end. Okay. Now, if you want to insert at the middle part, let us say not a middle part, but at certain position, I'll give you a position and you insert at that node. Okay. What should I do? See, these three are very, very important. If they'll ask you insertion operations at the beginning, at the end, and at a certain position. So again, we'll draw something. Okay, 10, 20, 30, let's say 40. It will do is we'll have a bigger linked list now. Okay. So the address of this is 100, this is 200, this is 300, this is 400, and this is 500. And this is null here. Okay. And here you go, it is 200, it is 300, it is 400, because you have to link this. Okay. 500. Okay. Right. These two will be linked this. Now, where should be the head point to? The head should point to the first node. And what should be the address here? The address of the first node, this 100. Okay. Now I'm naming the addresses here. Okay. This is the first, this is the second node, and this is the third position node. This is the fourth, and this is the fifth. Okay. Right. Now, if I want to insert at position 4 a new node, okay, I've created a new node. Let us say again the new node is 5 and the address is 50. Okay. And here you go. I have created a new node. Now, if I have to insert here, that is in the fourth position. Okay. Now, what should I do? The first thing I have to do is I have to traverse until here. Am I right? I have to traverse until here, not until here exactly, but anyway, I have to travel there and then only I can insert. Okay. Right. So let us see how we travel there. Okay. Sorry. Okay. Let us see how we travel there. Create a new node. You have created a new node with the data. If position is equal to 1, that is, if this is the only node we have, okay, then that is the first position. That will be the head. We have done all this. Okay. New next is equal to head, and whatever we have head, yeah, single position. If you have one node, okay, you just try to understand this. Okay. If not the case, if that is not the case, you will copy the head into temp. Now, by the way, why are you every time copying head into temp? Because head we cannot move every time. Head has to be pointing to the first node. If you move head, that means you are removing that node. The total linked list, to traverse a linked list, it is very difficult if you move head every single time. So temporarily we copy it in a separate pointer called temp. Okay, right. Again we copy a variable, we make a variable temp, and the address of temp is 100 so it is pointing to this. Okay, now for I is equal to 1 to position minus 2, y minus 2, you will understand. Okay, so I is equal to 1 to position minus 2, so that is nothing but for I is equal to 0, sorry, I is equal to 1, I less than, what is the position we want to insert? 4. So 4 minus 2 is nothing but 2 I plus plus. That is what effectively this is. Okay, so right, for I is equal to 1, yes, I is equal to 1. I less than 2, yeah, it is less than 2. So what we'll do, temp is equal to temp next. So what is temp here? Temp is 100. So you're here. What is temp next? Temp next is 200. So I'll make it to 200. I'll make this to 200. What is the value of I now? Okay, I is initially 1. Now after incrementing, it will be 2. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll less than or equal to 2. Okay, right. So I is equal to 2. So I is 2 is less than or equal to 2. So what will you do is again temp is equal to temp next. So now you are, since temp is 200, now you're actually here. Okay. What is temp data? Temp data is 20, but temp next is 300. So what will you do here? Temp next is equal to temp. So we'll update whatever is temp next, that is 300. We'll update it to temp. So temp will be 300. Okay, so now you are here. Okay. Now see, now understand this very, very carefully. Now what we are essentially doing is new next is equal to temp next. What is temp next? Now see, what they've given here is new next equal to temp next. What is temp next here? See, essentially what you have to do, you have to connect this node here. Okay, and you have to connect this node to here. That's what you have to do. So here, see, what should this address should be? This should be now essentially, it should be 50 here because I have to connect this to this. If I have to connect these two here, so I'll highlight. I have to connect these two, I think. Yeah. I hope you are able to see. Yeah. I have to connect these two first, and then I have to connect these two. Am I right? So this is how my connection should look like. So that's the reason what I'm doing is, see, whatever is there in temp next. Okay, what is there in temp next? Temp, you're here. Temp is actually 300. That is next. It should be given to new next. That is, you are connecting these two again. So what is temp next? I'm writing here. Temp next is equal to 400. Okay, and you're giving it to new next. This is the new node, right? So you're writing essentially here 400. Okay, so when you do that, what will happen? They get connected. These two are getting connected. Simple. Linked list is nothing but where you want to connect and you write down your own code. There, code can be written in many ways. Okay, so now we have to connect these two. How do you connect these two? Can I write it as temp next? Okay, temp next is equal to new because this has to be 50. If this has to be 50, it is nothing but temp next. Whatever you have temp next, you write it in the address of new node. The address of no node 50 and you write it in temp next. So you simply write here. So now what happened? These two are connected. So see now you have inserted a new node. Now this connection is lost because this connection is before it was between 300 and 400, but now this connection is lost. Okay, so this is how you are connected. Now tell me what is the first, we want to insert it as a fourth node. We have inserted it exactly as a fourth node. Now if you see, this is the first node, this is the second node, this is the third node, but here you go, this is the fourth node and this is the fifth node. This is the sixth node. Okay, So this is how we insert into a linked list. Simple way in linked list, what you have to do is where you have to insert, that you keep it in mind, and which addresses to connect. Okay, and you write the program by yourself. Unless you write the program by yourself, you try writing by yourself, you won't be getting linked list just by mugging up these lines. Okay, so it could be this way also. I could connect this first and this first, like this. So now I have to simply understand that I have to connect 50 here. I have to connect this new node. So what is the address of new node? 50. So I've written 50 here. I have to connect these two now. So what is the address of this node? This node is 400. So I've written for the new node next is 400. So that is how we have connected. So if you didn't understand this video, you listen to this video again, okay, and you should be able to understand. In the next video, we'll be talking about deletion in a linked list, which is of similar kind. So once you understand this only, you will be able to understand that. Okay, so you please pause the video, listen to it one more time, and you should be able to understand this video. Okay, thank you so much. Today in this class, we have covered about single linked list, insertion in a single linked list. In the next video, we'll be talking about deletions. Okay, thank you so much.